Angels say, your soulmate just lost control after seeing this in you. My beloved child, stop for just a heartbeat, because what you are about to hear has already begun moving beneath the surface of your destiny, even if your eyes have not noticed it yet. There is a silent shift taking place around you, and the angels whisper that this moment is unlike any before. Something within your energy has changed. Not your appearance. Not your words. Something far deeper. Something your soulmate recognized before they could even explain it to themselves. Listen closely. There are moments in life when one glance carries more power than 1,000 conversations. This was one of those moments. Your soulmate saw something in you that no one else had truly noticed. It wasn't perfection. It wasn't success. It wasn't anything the world could measure. It was a quiet light, a calm strength, a rare authenticity that cannot be copied. The instant they felt it, every wall they had carefully built around their heart began to crack. Stay a little longer, because this is only the beginning. Have you ever wondered why certain people suddenly become unforgettable? It isn't because they try harder. It is because they awaken something sleeping inside another soul. The angels say your presence has done exactly that. Without speaking, without forcing, without chasing. You reminded your soulmate of the future they secretly hoped could exist. They didn't expect it. They weren't prepared for it. And that unexpected realization became impossible to ignore. For a while they tried convincing themselves it was nothing. Maybe it's just another passing feeling, they whispered within their own thoughts. But every attempt to move away only pulled them back toward the same question. Why does this person feel different? The answer was never outside of you. It was already within you. There is a peaceful confidence growing inside your spirit, and people sense it long before you realize it yourself. While others search endlessly for attention, you unknowingly carry a quiet certainty that cannot be manufactured. That silent confidence reached your soulmate like a signal across the distance. It wasn't loud. It didn't demand anything. Yet somehow, it echoed louder than every distraction surrounding them. Pause here for a moment. What if the greatest change in your story begins without dramatic announcements? What if destiny first speaks through subtle moments that almost everyone overlooks? That possibility is exactly why today matters. The angels are not pointing toward coincidence. They are pointing toward alignment. Your soulmate began replaying ordinary memories again and again. Conversations they almost forgot suddenly became meaningful. Small smiles returned to their thoughts. Tiny details that once seemed insignificant started fitting together like pieces of a hidden design. The more they reflected, the more they realized something extraordinary. You had never tried to become unforgettable. Yet you already were. Wait until the final moment, because the next revelation connects everything. The angels reveal that losing control did not mean chaos. It meant the collapse of certainty. The plans your soulmate once believed were permanent suddenly no longer felt complete. Priorities shifted. Dreams they had placed aside quietly returned. Questions they had buried years ago rose back to the surface. One glimpse of your inner strength challenged everything they thought they understood about love, purpose, and connection. This transformation didn't happen because of pressure. It happened because truth has its own timing. Sometimes destiny arrives gently, like dawn breaking across a silent horizon. It doesn't force the darkness away. It simply shines until the darkness can no longer remain. That is the effect your energy created. Without realizing it, you became a mirror reflecting possibilities your soulmate had forgotten existed. And here's the part very few people understand. When angels speak about connection, they rarely focus on the destination first. They focus on preparation. Every delay has been shaping perspective. Every unanswered question has been building wisdom. Every unexpected turn has been refining both hearts for a meeting that carries greater meaning than either of you can currently imagine. Before you leave this moment behind, hold on to one thought. The person meant to walk beside you is no longer seeing the world through the same eyes as before. Something awakened the instant they recognized this hidden quality within you. They may not have words for it yet. They may not fully understand it themselves. But the change has already begun. And what the angels reveal next will explain why this awakening is leading both of your paths toward an unforgettable turning point. A new chapter quietly begins, because the moment after awakening is always the moment of decision. Stay with this message, because what happens next explains why your soulmate could no longer pretend everything was the same. After seeing that rare light within you, they tried to return to their normal routine. They smiled when others expected them to smile. They answered questions. They kept moving through their day. But inside, something refused to settle. It was as if an invisible compass had changed direction, pointing them toward a future they had never seriously considered before. Have you ever felt your heart recognize something before your mind could explain it? That is exactly where your soulmate found themselves. The angels say they kept asking one silent question again and again. Why do I keep thinking about this person? The answer never came as a loud voice. Instead, it arrived through small moments. A familiar song. A peaceful evening sky. A random memory appearing without invitation. Each tiny reminder carried the same message: there is something here that deserves attention. Stay a little longer, because this realization became impossible to escape. The more they reflected, the more they noticed a surprising truth. You never tried to impress anyone. You never forced your value to be seen. Yet somehow your authenticity became the very thing they admired most. In a world where so many people wear masks, your quiet honesty stood out like a light in the distance. And that changed everything. The angels reveal that your soulmate started comparing every temporary distraction with the peace they felt whenever thoughts of you appeared. It wasn't excitement alone. It was comfort. It was hope. It was the feeling that maybe, just maybe, they had finally discovered someone who could understand parts of them they had never spoken aloud. Wait until the end, because another hidden piece is about to fall into place. What surprised them most wasn't your kindness or your patience. It was your resilience. They sensed that you had walked through challenges without allowing them to harden your heart. Instead of becoming bitter, you became wiser. Instead of losing hope, you quietly kept moving forward. That strength left a lasting impression. The angels whisper that this was the exact moment their emotional walls began disappearing. Not because someone forced them down, but because they no longer served a purpose. For the first time in a long while, vulnerability felt safer than pretending. Before this message continues, if these words resonate with your journey, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe if this kind of uplifting guidance speaks to you, and share this message with someone who may need encouragement today. Sometimes a single message reaches the right heart at exactly the right moment. Now listen carefully. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that some connections are not built through perfect timing, they are built through personal growth. Every lesson, every delay, every unexpected turn has quietly prepared both of you for a meeting that carries greater meaning than either of you realizes today. But the angels are not finished. They reveal that one unexpected event is approaching. Something small on the surface, yet powerful enough to make your soulmate stop, reflect, and finally understand why seeing this within you changed their heart forever. And that next revelation is where the story takes an unforgettable turn. Everything begins to accelerate from this point, because once the heart recognizes truth, it becomes impossible to return to comfortable uncertainty. The next piece of this story reveals why the angels say your soulmate is standing at the edge of a life-changing realization. For days, they searched for a logical explanation. They told themselves it was only admiration. Then they called it coincidence. After that, they tried to dismiss it as simple curiosity. Yet every explanation felt incomplete. No matter how they rearranged their thoughts, they always arrived at the same place. You. The angels whisper that this wasn't an accident. Some connections grow louder in silence than they ever could in noise. While the outside world continued moving at its usual pace, something inside your soulmate had already begun transforming. Take a slow moment here, because what comes next changes the entire picture. They started noticing qualities in you that many people overlook. Your ability to remain hopeful when circumstances were uncertain. Your calm when others rushed. Your willingness to keep believing even after disappointments. These weren't ordinary traits in their eyes anymore. They became signs of a person who carried uncommon inner strength. And that realization stirred something unexpected. The future they once imagined suddenly seemed incomplete without wondering where your path might cross theirs. New possibilities entered their thoughts without invitation. Old assumptions quietly disappeared. It wasn't about fantasy. It was about perspective changing from the inside out. Have you noticed how one honest realization can rewrite an entire story? That is exactly what is happening. The angels say your soulmate has begun listening more carefully to their own heart than to outside opinions. Voices that once influenced every decision are becoming quieter. Instead, a peaceful inner knowing is taking their place. That quiet certainty keeps leading them back to the same conclusion. Some people enter your life for a season. Others arrive to awaken your purpose. Stay until the final words, because the most meaningful revelation is still ahead. The angels reveal that your soulmate is no longer focused on appearances or temporary impressions. What captured their attention was something much rarer, your genuine character. They saw someone who continues growing, continues learning, and continues choosing hope even when life becomes uncertain. That kind of strength cannot be imitated. It can only be lived. Because of this, they have started making small but meaningful changes within themselves. Old fears are losing their grip. Confidence is quietly returning. Dreams they once placed on hold are beginning to feel possible again. Without even realizing it, your example has inspired them to become a better version of themselves. And perhaps that is the greatest surprise of all. The angels remind you that true connection doesn't ask people to become someone else. It gently encourages both souls to become more fully themselves. That is why this moment feels so different. It isn't built on pressure. It is built on growth, respect, and quiet transformation. Before this chapter closes, remember one powerful truth. Sometimes destiny doesn't announce itself with thunder. Sometimes it arrives as a single realization that refuses to leave the heart. The angels say that realization is already alive within your soulmate. They may still be gathering the courage to fully embrace it, but every step they take is bringing them closer to understanding why seeing this in you changed everything. And in the next chapter, the angels reveal the unexpected sign that finally convinces your soulmate they can no longer ignore what their heart has been trying to tell them all along. A quiet signal is about to become impossible to ignore. Because every journey reaches a moment when the heart stops asking, "What if?" and begins asking, "What now?" Remain with this message, because the angels are revealing the turning point that your soulmate never expected to experience. There came a peaceful evening when everything around them seemed completely ordinary. The world continued moving. Conversations came and went. Responsibilities filled the hours. Yet in the middle of that familiar routine, one simple thought returned with remarkable clarity. What if this person is the reason I have been feeling this inner change? That question stayed. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It simply refused to disappear. The angels say this is how genuine transformation often begins, not through pressure, but through quiet certainty that keeps returning until it can no longer be ignored. Stay for this next revelation, because it explains everything. Your soulmate began noticing how different they felt after thinking about you. Worry became calmer. Doubt became curiosity. Fear slowly made room for hope. It wasn't that every challenge vanished overnight. Instead, they discovered a new perspective, one that reminded them that meaningful connections often inspire us to become stronger than we believed possible. That realization became their greatest surprise. The future they once imagined started expanding. New dreams appeared where old limitations had existed. They found themselves becoming more patient, more grateful, and more willing to believe that extraordinary moments can begin with the smallest signs. The angels whisper that your energy awakened possibility. Not because you promised anything. Not because you demanded attention. But because your authenticity quietly reminded them that real strength always carries peace. Pause for just a moment. What if the greatest gift you have ever given someone wasn't a perfect conversation, but simply the example of remaining true to yourself? That example became a light your soulmate couldn't stop following in their thoughts. And the angels say that light continues growing brighter. If this message has encouraged your heart today, you're warmly invited to share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more uplifting journeys like this, and pass this message along to someone who may need a little hope. Sometimes one encouraging word creates a ripple far beyond what we can see. Now listen carefully. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that meaningful connections are never rushed. They unfold through trust, patience, and steady growth. Every lesson you've both experienced has quietly prepared this moment, even when neither of you could recognize the pattern. The angels reveal one final truth for this chapter. The reason your soulmate lost control was never about confusion. It was about clarity arriving all at once. The moment they recognized the rare qualities within you, every old assumption about what truly matters began to dissolve. What once seemed ordinary now feels extraordinary. What once seemed distant now feels possible. And this is only the beginning. Because the next message from the angels reveals the unmistakable sign that brings two paths closer than ever before, a sign so subtle that most people would overlook it, yet so powerful that it changes the direction of an entire story. A gentle whisper is rising above every distraction, because some moments don't announce themselves with noise, they arrive with a quiet certainty that changes everything. Stay with this story a little longer, because the angels are about to reveal why your soulmate's heart can no longer return to the way it once was. There is a difference between remembering someone and feeling their presence in unexpected moments. The angels say your soulmate has entered that second season. Without planning it, they find themselves noticing reminders that seem to appear at exactly the right time. A familiar melody. A peaceful sunrise. A passing thought that arrives out of nowhere. Each one gently points them back to the same realization. The connection they feel is becoming impossible to ignore. At first, they questioned themselves. Then they smiled at the coincidence. Now, they are beginning to accept that some experiences are meant to be explored rather than explained. Listen carefully. The angels reveal that what truly caught your soulmate's attention was not a single moment, it was your consistency. You continued growing even when no one applauded you. You continued choosing hope when life invited discouragement. You continued carrying kindness without expecting recognition. That quiet consistency spoke louder than grand gestures ever could. Wait a little longer, because the next truth carries remarkable meaning. Your soulmate has started imagining what life looks like when two people encourage one another instead of competing, when conversations bring peace instead of confusion, and when trust grows naturally instead of being forced. These thoughts didn't appear because someone suggested them. They appeared because your example awakened a new vision. The angels say this is why everything feels different now. They are no longer searching for perfection. They are searching for authenticity. And every time they reflect on you, they are reminded that genuine strength is often calm, patient, and deeply rooted. Think about this for a moment. What if the quality that changed your soulmate the most was something you almost overlooked within yourself? Sometimes the greatest gift you carry is the one that feels most ordinary to you. Yet to another heart, it becomes unforgettable. That is exactly what the angels are revealing today. The transformation has already begun. Not only within your soulmate, but within the path that lies ahead. Every lesson, every pause, every unexpected delay has quietly prepared both of you to recognize what truly matters when the right moment arrives. And now another gentle shift is taking place. The angels whisper that your soulmate is becoming more courageous. Small decisions are leading toward bigger ones. quiet reflections are becoming confident intentions. Step by step, they are moving closer to acting with the same honesty they have finally discovered within their own heart. Before this chapter comes to an end, remember these words. Some journeys are changed by one conversation. Others are changed by one realization. Your story is being shaped by a realization that continues growing stronger with every passing day. The angels say the light your soulmate saw within you has not faded, it has become even clearer. And in the next chapter, the angels unveil the unexpected moment that gives your soulmate the confidence to stop holding back and embrace the path their heart has been quietly choosing all along. A silent door is beginning to open, and what waits beyond it is something your soulmate never believed they would be ready to face. Don't leave now, because the angels say this chapter reveals the moment when quiet feelings begin turning into clear direction. For a long time, your soulmate believed that certainty had to arrive all at once. They expected a dramatic sign, a perfect answer, or a single event that would explain everything. But the angels gently smile at that idea, because true clarity rarely arrives like lightning. It arrives like the sunrise. Slowly. Steadily. Until suddenly, the whole landscape looks different. That is exactly what is happening now. The more they reflect on the person you have become, the more they realize that your greatest quality was never something you tried to prove. It was something you simply lived. Your patience during uncertain seasons. Your willingness to keep moving forward. Your quiet belief that better days can still come. Those qualities became a mirror. And in that mirror, your soulmate began seeing the person they wanted to become. Pause for a second and think about that. Sometimes the most powerful influence is not advice. It is an example. The angels say your journey has been teaching lessons without saying a single word. Every challenge you faced with grace, every setback you turned into growth, every moment you chose hope over discouragement became part of a message your soulmate could feel, even from a distance. Stay until the final lines, because an extraordinary truth is about to be revealed. Something unexpected has begun happening inside your soulmate. The fears that once felt permanent are becoming smaller. The doubts that once controlled every decision are losing their voice. In their place, a quiet confidence is growing, one that doesn't depend on outside approval. Why? Because they finally understand that meaningful connections are built on truth, not appearances. The angels whisper that your soulmate has stopped asking, "What will everyone else think?" Now they are asking, "What does my heart already know?" That single question has changed everything. Every day, they find themselves noticing new reasons to appreciate the qualities that first captured their attention. Your calm spirit. Your resilience. Your authenticity. Your ability to keep your light even when circumstances tried to dim it. Those aren't ordinary qualities. They are rare. And rare things are never forgotten. There is another message the angels want you to hear. Do not underestimate the quiet seasons of your life. They are not empty chapters. They are preparation. While you believed nothing significant was happening, unseen growth was taking place within both of your journeys. Every delay was adding wisdom. Every lesson was building maturity. Every unexpected turn was quietly arranging a future that neither of you could fully see. Take this final thought into your heart. The angels say your soulmate no longer feels pulled by temporary distractions. Instead, they are being guided by something much deeper. A peaceful certainty that continues growing stronger every time they reflect on the remarkable qualities they discovered within you. And this certainty is no longer just a feeling. It is becoming a decision. In the next chapter, the angels reveal the beautiful confirmation that appears just before two paths begin moving toward the same destination, a confirmation so gentle that only an attentive heart will recognize it. A beautiful mystery is quietly unfolding. Because the angels say there comes a moment when the universe no longer asks a heart to wait, it begins preparing it to receive. Stay with this message, because what you are about to hear connects every chapter that came before. Your soulmate has reached a place where silence no longer feels empty. Instead, it has become meaningful. Every quiet moment gives them another opportunity to understand what truly changed inside them after seeing that extraordinary quality within you. At first, they believed it was only admiration. Then they believed it was inspiration. But now, the angels reveal they are beginning to recognize something even greater. It is alignment. Not the kind that happens by chance, but the kind that grows through patience, growth, and perfect timing. Take a deep moment with these words. Your soulmate has started letting go of expectations that once weighed heavily on their heart. They no longer feel the need to rush every answer or control every outcome. Instead, they are learning to trust the peaceful direction that keeps leading them back to the same thought. Some people enter your life to remind you who you truly are. The angels say that reminder arrived through you. Stay close, because the next revelation carries remarkable hope. Without realizing it, your soulmate has begun preparing for a future that reflects their highest values. They are choosing more meaningful conversations. They are becoming more intentional with their time. They are paying closer attention to what brings lasting peace rather than temporary excitement. Why? Because seeing your inner strength awakened something long forgotten. It reminded them that genuine connection begins with becoming genuine within yourself. That realization has become their greatest teacher. Now notice this carefully. The angels whisper that every time your soulmate remembers your quiet resilience, they also remember the kind of future they want to build. A future guided by trust instead of fear. Gratitude instead of comparison. Growth instead of hesitation. This vision continues becoming clearer. Not because someone is convincing them. Because their own heart is finally speaking without interruption. Wait until these final moments, because one beautiful truth remains. The angels reveal that unseen encouragement has been surrounding both of your journeys all along. Moments that seemed ordinary were quietly strengthening your character. Delays that once felt confusing were creating wisdom. Even unanswered questions were preparing both hearts to recognize authenticity when the time was right. Nothing meaningful has been wasted. Every lesson has become part of the path. And now, something remarkable is happening. Your soulmate has stopped looking for reasons to doubt what they feel. Instead, they are discovering reasons to trust the peaceful transformation taking place within them. The qualities they first noticed in you continue shining brighter with every reflection. kindness, patience, quiet confidence, hope. These are no longer qualities they simply admire. They are qualities they wish to carry into their own future. Before this chapter closes, remember this message from the angels. The greatest transformations are rarely visible at first. They begin inside the heart, where no one else can see them. Then, little by little, they reshape every choice, every perspective, and every dream. That invisible transformation has already begun. And in the next chapter, the angels unveil the gentle confirmation that convinces your soulmate they are finally ready to stop resisting the path their heart has been peacefully following all along. The next whisper carries a promise, because the angels say there comes a rare moment when the heart no longer wonders if it has changed, it quietly realizes it can never return to who it used to be. Don't leave just yet, because this chapter reveals the deepest reason your soulmate's journey has taken such an unexpected turn. There was no grand announcement. No dramatic scene. No single conversation that explained everything. Instead, it happened in the stillness. Your soulmate found themselves looking at the future with completely different eyes. The plans that once seemed so important no longer felt complete. Goals that were built only around achievement slowly made room for something far more meaningful, a life filled with authenticity, peace, and a connection that inspires growth. The angels smile because this is the quiet miracle of awareness. Once truth touches the heart, it gently changes every direction that follows. Stay with this message, because another beautiful layer is about to unfold. Your soulmate has started recognizing that the quality they saw in you wasn't just kindness or patience. It was something even rarer. It was inner harmony. A calm confidence that doesn't depend on applause. A hopeful spirit that isn't shaken by temporary setbacks. A steady light that continues shining without asking for attention. That rare combination became unforgettable. The angels reveal that every time they remember you, they don't simply remember a face or a conversation. They remember how your presence made them feel. Peaceful. Encouraged. Inspired to become more genuine. And feelings like those leave lasting footprints on the soul. Pause for a moment and imagine this. What if every challenge you've overcome has quietly become part of someone else's healing journey? What if your resilience has been speaking louder than you ever realized? The angels say this is exactly why your soulmate's heart could not remain unchanged. They saw proof that strength and gentleness can exist together. They saw hope living through ordinary moments. They saw someone who kept moving forward without losing their compassion. Those discoveries became impossible to forget. Wait until the closing words, because they carry a powerful reminder. Your soulmate is no longer searching for certainty outside themselves. Instead, they are learning to trust the peaceful wisdom growing within. Every passing day adds another layer of clarity. Every quiet reflection strengthens their confidence that meaningful connections are built on honesty, mutual respect, and shared growth. This isn't a passing emotion. It is becoming part of who they are. The angels whisper that unseen doors are beginning to open, not through force, but through readiness. Hearts prepared by patience recognize opportunities that hurried hearts often miss. That is why every delay has served a purpose. Every lesson has carried hidden value. Every unexpected pause has quietly positioned both of you exactly where you need to be. And now comes the message the angels wanted to save for this moment. The light your soulmate saw within you has become a guide they cannot ignore. It reminds them to choose courage over hesitation, purpose over distraction, truth over uncertainty. That inner light is no longer just inspiring them. It is leading them. And in the next chapter, the angels reveal the peaceful sign that confirms both journeys are moving toward the same horizon, where every lesson, every delay, and every quiet transformation finally begins to make perfect sense.